Yeah, let's talk about some art that I like this week. For this very first installment of art that I like, I wanted to talk about On Kawara's painting series today. First, let's just take a look at one. Bam! Here's one. This is October 31st, 1978. You're like, that's a painting? That is the painting. Painted by hand, the date on which it was made. You're like, that's it? And I'm like, yes, but I love it. On Kawara painted the date from January 4th, 1966 until his death in July of 2014. Every single day, Kawara painted the date. And when they were shown in a gallery, they were normally paired with the newspaper from that current day. This collection consists entirely of white letters on a background, a plain background, all horizontal in orientation. The precision is so noticeable and beautiful, this painstaking process of painting the date. On Kawara would often paint more than one of the date every day, more than one version. But if he didn't finish one, he would destroy it. This practice, this ritual is so beautiful to me. By the end of his life, there were nearly 3,000 of these paintings. And the initial concept, of course, was he would keep doing it until, presumably, his death. A 48-year project. Now, why do I love these? Why do I love these paintings? Why do I like them? Art that I like, there's this way in which they describe a human life and almost an artistic life that is so beautifully simplistic. Think about the ritual of waking up and painting the date that it is. The inspiration is there. You don't really have to think about it past that. Your inspiration is there. You don't have to be like, what am I going to paint? What landscape am I going to create? What face can I do? You don't have to bring in a model to paint their face. You don't have to take all your art supplies out to the Schuylkill River and try to like paint that or like paint like bugs and grass and stuff. You don't have to do abstract expressionism where you're like getting as drunk as possible and pouring paint everywhere. But something about On Kawara's date paintings really speaks to me because it's so painstaking. It is the date every day. You almost don't have to think about it. It almost makes you this machine of art creation. And it makes me think, if you're an artist, are you part of a machine? Do you have to mechanize yourself to create? Was On Kawara essentially creating a system at which he would always have art whenever he needed to say that he was an artist? Because we all go through, artists go through, writer's block, or they have long stretches where they don't have work released, but they're working on it. But also each painting is substantial to a day in his life because he did it on that day. So to look at them, there's a great exhibit in Dia Beacon in upstate New York where they have a bunch of them across the room, all the way around the room, and like kind of all on equal footing to each other, equal level to each other. And it's like staring into someone's day, but just by the binary of a date, just by the sort of like stamp of that was that day. But standing in front of it and looking at it, it's like looking through, in my opinion, sort of like a time machine. You're staring at it and it's like, on that day, On Kawara woke up and painted that. Makes you think about that day. Did he paint it in the morning? Did he finish it before lunch? Did he finish it at night? Did he go to bed being like, oh, I should finish it, so I got out of bed, so he finished it? I don't know, there's something so cataloging about it. It tells the whole life of an artist. And beautiful, and to know that there is a final one. There is a final On Kawara date painting because he could not do it anymore because he no longer lived. You have a finite amount of paintings. Even if some days you might not feel as inspired, he always was like, I'm going to keep going on my craft. So he painstakingly makes these date paintings. I could talk about date painting series forever. I think about them all the time, and I also think of them differently every time I see them, lucky enough to see them at a gallery or just look at them online. There's just something about the recording of a human life without image as well. I keep saying it, but it's just the date. It is just this calculated time and place. It's not a photo of On Kawara, but you know that his hands were responsible for its creation. So it's a document of a human without image. Anyway, On Kawara's date paintings. Check them out at your local museum. That